I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're joined by a very talented author. His name is Patrick Jackson. He is the creative mind behind educational animation series, including the Scientific Terrorist Drone Fly Part 1, 2, and 3. This series of short stories delves into the complex issues of poverty, deception, and manipulation, reflecting upon the darker aspects of our society. We're delighted to have this talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Prime 7 Media for helping us put him in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support writers like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his wonderful book. The links are below this interview. Patrick, great to see you here today on Spotlight.
I'm very pleased to be here with you, sir.
This is a great series of books you have written. Tell us a little bit about what your inspiration was.
Well, my inspiration really was to write books about me being in the area and working hard and having problems with money sometimes. And because of that, I was drawn to writing. And because of that, I've kept it up as an exercise. And now I've grown to have about not only 3 individual books, but many short stories in my books, especially educational animations that it's got quite a lot in there, which is educational animations, children's storybooks as well.
Wonderful.
But can I just say as well that the book covers quite a wide subject, and it covers from the scientific terrorist. Now, I'm the one who's made up the name, the scientific terrorist. I don't know if there's anybody else out there who's done it, but I've made up that name, scientific terrorist, because, you've got scientists out there, they're great scientists, and some of them are not quite on our side. They are there kind of like as what I would call the type of people, they'll be designing things like, some kind of a virus. And the virus could be a genetically modified virus, right? Means say that when they modify it, it means that no one can get into that particular virus and know how to decode it unless they actually has got some kind of a scientific knowledge. So by me writing a story about that, it means that some of these scientific terrorists, they could actually be designing new type of virus so that they can be able to unleash onto the people, onto the public, and then leave it to the pharmaceutical companies to find a vaccine for that, and so that the scientific terrorist will be gaining money from what they've done by the pharmaceutical companies finding a vaccine for the thing and so on, and selling it to our governments and our people so that it will prevent them from dying, if that makes any sense in what I'm saying.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. The scientists have a lot of control and a lot of power and a lot of knowledge. And if it's used the wrong way, it really can be hurtful to society.
In actual fact, I'm sorry to cut you in, sir.
Mm-mm.
In actual fact, uh, there's a lot of people who's the young people of these days. They've never heard of the word GM. Now, I don't know if you know much about GM. GM is genetically modified.
Mm-hmm.
Anything can be genetically modified, from food to crops, even human beings has been genetically modified. There is some people walking around in this on this planet that has been genetically modified. They're like superhumans in a way. They don't fly with a cape like Superman would, but they are genetically modified for reasons. And you can say that those people, they were kind of like put together in a test tube.
Mm.
So people can look this up and they'll see it themselves that I am not wrong.
No, I believe you're right. And certainly they make test tube babies, and certainly gene splicing is now taking place. So as the technology advances, more of these modifications are likely to happen, don't you think?
That's true. I mean, a lot of our food that we eat, almost every single food that we eat, has been genetically modified in some form of way. You can't see it, but it's just the way how they can grow. Say, for example, mango. in a greenhouse in the UK or wherever it is, and so in a cold climate, when mangoes should be grown in a hotter climate.
Hmm.
So they genetically modify these food, and when we eat it, sometime it can do things to us. It's not all the time I'm saying all the genetically modified stuff that has been done.
Hmm.
It is the fault of some of the scientists. I'm just saying that genetically modified things is being done to be faster so it can handle the way how it grows and stop bugs and everything from growing on them. But at the same time, it's having an effect on some of us human beings. You might have a child of the age of, it could be a girl, she's from the age of, say, 10 years old. And she's grown much more faster than she should do because she's been eating genetically modified food
Right.
that has turned her almost into looking like a woman before her time.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. We have to be careful what we put in our body, and certainly the scientists are out there manipulating our food supply, that's for sure. One of the things you also mentioned in your book is people being brainwashed for financial gain and terrorism. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, um, in throughout my life, as I go through life, and this is coming from ordinary people who will see you, who will talk to you about what they believe in, and they expect you to follow what it is that they believe in. Now, it could also be a religious person who you might meet, and he's trying to turn you into a religious person to follow God. Now, if you're not a person who understands much about religion and you go into it, by the time they finish talking to you and they finish giving you some of their theories and what it is that they do, in a way, they've brainwashed you. And by the time they finish you, you land up in their church and you'll be praying with them and doing everything. You maybe become one of their foot soldiers, going out there and trying to recruit other people. And some of these type of people, okay, they could be good or bad. We know that people who's been brainwashed by the wrong kind of people, some of these people turn out to be helping some of the terrorist people out there to be doing some of the wrongs that shouldn't be done. So my book is kind of like a guideline for people who needs some kind of a guidance. That's what my book is. It's a guideline. It can only help people if they feel like they need help, and if they try and buy one of my books and they read it and it helps them, it could stop them from going down the wrong road. Maybe they might go into a bar or a pub, maybe meet a couple of girls or people in there who sitting behind them, buy them a drink, and by the time they finish buying that drink, by the time midnight come, the girls might say, "Oh, can you drop me home?" Then he says, "Yes, I'll drop you home." By that time, he's already drunk, and by the time he steps out in the cold, the cold weather hits him, and he becomes even more drunk, and he lands up driving a car, and the car with two other people in it, he would have crashed that car into a tree or wherever, and that would cause him to. By the time he wakes up, one of the girls are dead, one is still alive,
Mm.
and he would have to face the consequences of going to jail for maybe manslaughter or murder.
Exactly, exactly. Well said. What do you hope readers take away from your book?
Well, an education really. They're going to
Mm.
be educated. If I, as a simple person who I've never been to university, I'm just a basic person who I can use my own way of thinking, and I'm very clever in the sense that I've got a gift that some other people don't quite have. It's like I've been given that special gift to talk to people through my books. Now,
Mm.
there's a lot of younger people. I want to say younger people. I mean, they're younger than me because I'm 70 years old. Some of these people are maybe 50 years old, 60 years old, and they still haven't experienced what life is all about. Some of these people has been easily led by people out there who can turn them around in circles because they don't know the difference between up and down, or
Right.
from their face to the back of their bum, if you understand what I'm trying to say to you.
Yes.
So some of these people they need guidance. So if they
Right.
read my books and they read into it, they'll see things in it that will prevent them from going down the wrong road, and try and read a book and understand what's going on. If you can't read very well or you're not a very good reader, they got instruments out there that you can use and so on. The book will talk to you a little bit like a machine that will be singing songs to you through the through the songs and so on that people has made. So it's the same thing. You've got the talking books out there or the audio books out there. If you can't read very well, buy my books and use those equipments and so on, especially on Amazon or Google, to be able to guide you on how to run your life.
Wonderful. The name of the book's written by Patrick Jackson, the Educational Animation Series, including The Scientific Terrorist Dronefly Part 1, 2, and 3. This series of short story dives into the complex issues of poverty, deception, and manipulation, reflecting on the darker aspects of our society. These are cautionary tales that will help you live your best life. Patrick, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Is this the end of the interview? Because I'm beginning to love it.
Well, I'm glad you had fun today. We enjoyed talking to you. I'll give you the last word. Is anything else you'd like the folks at home to know?
Well, like I say, my book has got all these different characteristics in there. I've written over 60 short stories. These books, you can find them on Amazon. I'm known as author Patrick Jackson. And if you type in author Patrick Jackson.com, my website will come up with all my information on there. I just hope people does try and get into reading my books, because with what's going on out there with people who is messing people around, stealing from other people and everything, like stealing from we the public and hacking into our computers and doing all these type of things and so on. If you read my book, you'll get more information, and I think it will keep you more out of danger than for you to be heading into the danger world of where there are people who can manipulate you and damage you and maybe lead you down a gutter where you'll find that your life had ended and you feel like you want to kill yourself.
Very, 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 very true. Thank you so much for joining us today, Patrick. Again, the website is authorpatrickjackson.com. Patrick, we appreciate your time.
You've been a good interviewer to me, and I love it, and I hope we can talk again at some stage.
I look forward to talking to you again down the road for sure. Absolutely. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time. This time, until next time on Spotlight.